Alright, before I get into the main part of the video here, I'd want to do a quick autograph request section here, which I got 2 of them in. One of them was actually not bowling. Absolutely shocking. I had sent off a lot of stuff before the bowling, and some of that is taking its sweet time to get here. But we'll start off with the one that isn't bowling, and I kind of tore up the envelope here. But this one I believe came out of, oh gosh, I can't read that one. It looks like Santa Ana, California. I used the Gone with the Wind and the Wizard of Oz stamps on there. I think those I'm not sure if those are ones that came from the stamp show or where I got those. I don't think they were stamp show stamps. But we got none other than Bobby Desjardins or Desjardins. I don't know how to pronounce that, but Bobby Desjardins or Desjardins, and signing some sort of partially dying Sharpie there. So there is that one on the Columbus Clippers, pre-rookie 1992, so that is a point for the Team 90s. So Skybox pre-rookie 1992. If you care about the back here, there is the back. It looks like there's a little bit of yellowing on the card, tiny bit, but not to worry about that one there. Card number 45 of the Columbus Clippers. The next one here is, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's out of California because that's his address. Alan Chodor. And he said enjoyed the Forever stamp, and he also liked the Strike image. So basically I used a bunch of Power Rangers that had like explosion in the background, and I just wrote Strike on it. So there is his note there for 13/24, and it is for 16/24, I believe, today. And Alan Chodor has put it in some sort of really difficult, I want to say it's a gaming sleeve because it's very, very tight. So it's like a penny sleeve for gaming cards there. Alan Chodor right there. Very, very cool. Nice to have that one there. And this is another point for Team 90s, card number 5. This is for Kingpins. I know a bunch of people are getting into this set now. Hope you enjoyed that, and stay tuned for the rest of the video. Thank you for watching. Alright, hope everybody's doing well. I am super backlogged on videos and had to delete all kinds of things here. It's not fun, but it's what I've got to do. I was clearing out some cards this morning, just getting rid of them, and it didn't make a dent. It made things worse. There's just cards everywhere around here. It's absolutely awful. I got one letter in yesterday from Byron, and he's been flooding the mailbox recently. I've been getting a lot of junk mail in addition to Byron's, and it's crazy. The mailboxes are pretty small, but the amount of stuff in there is well, anyway. But we'll show you what he sent, and we're going to work out some kind of trade, kind of like what Caleb does with his friend Bruce, or some numerous other people in the community that does. And I'm going to see what kind of, he's looking for classic actors and actresses, and I got to see if I have anything. I don't have a lot that's handy right now because everything is just in really ridiculous disarray. It's absolutely silly. Silly, silly, silly. One of the things I mentioned is everybody's on fire right now in the YouTube communities about Kurt's Card Care. You know, some sort of, restoration card kit to make your cards look better, so when you send them off to grading, they get better grades and all kinds of ridiculous stuff here. I'm not into messing with cards and trying to deceive people and, hide damage where there used to be, soaking cards and that kind of stuff. But people do get really ridiculous in the autographs as well. And I remember not long ago, somebody took the inscription off a photograph that I bought. I cannot remember who it was. It might have been Sandy Duncan that I purchased. I kind of overpaid on that one, but there weren't any cheaper than, I don't know, it was $10 plus shipping. It came out to a little bit more than I wanted, but it was on the photograph I wanted. That's why I paid up for it. But when I got it, when I say that one, I think there was an inscription that was removed. So you can use a dry erase marker if you're very careful. But if there's any kind of paper loss or glossy loss on your paper, that dry erase marker will get in there and it will not come out, as far as I know. So have to be very, very careful. So I want to share with you what I got and one interesting little tidbit that just happened. So he has sent me a list of these things here, I believe. Bonnie Beecher, Tommy Cook actor, Florence Henderson preprint question mark, and Pat Crowley actress. Okay, well, I've got an interesting story about one of those. So, let's get back to as I say, let's go to Pat Crowley. And again, I do not remember. My mom was huge into old classic movies, and I've got all of them still. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with those. This one here is pen signed here in some sort of Sharpie here. I don't know how many of these people are still alive. I missed the boat on a lot of these classic actors and actresses, but it's signed right there on some sort of photograph. You can get an idea. You basically have to do your homework, and a lot of people don't always do their homework when they buy stuff off the internet. And some people, you know, just get a heck of a good deal, and you just have to be there at the right time. But this particular one has got a bunch of markings on the back of it. Sometimes you will be able to tell when this was printed here. I don't know what this 1-13 is. Maybe that's 2013. I don't really know when this was done here. Bunches of markings. I'm not familiar with all of those. It's on looks like Fuji paper. It's really hard to tell, but there's some sort of watermark in the paper. It looks like it's very hard to tell, unless that's some other writing that was on there before. Don't really know. But anyway, Pat Crowley right there. I should know. I should have looked it up who these people were. And then we'll save the Florence Henderson for last. This is Bonnie Beecher, and these are all in little plastic slips. So some people store those in those, and some people don't. Nice. And I remember Caleb and somebody else. So if you're not subscribed to Caleb's Cards, take a look at his previous videos where he got lots of actors and actresses. There were several people that did a lot of those, and they just went to Amazon, Snapfish, numerous other places, and got those things printed out. And then find the best Google images here. On this one here, it looks like, it's really hard to tell what, 825, 820, I don't know what all these numbers are. I have no clue. No, I'm not familiar with those, but the same person had those done. And then maybe even the same exact order. And then I've heard of Jabberjaw. I think it was a Hanna-Barbera show, and I think this is Tony Cook, the voice. Maybe he was the voice of Jabberjaw. This is before my time. So, and this is on a glossy photograph, and it's been cut by somebody. So a lot of times people, you know, have issues with printing. It looks like there was some issue right there and trimmed it to fit whatever. But Tony Cook signed it right there, but very tiny. Very, very tiny. So I'm guessing that would have been Tony Cook right there. And now he was saying this could be a preprint, but it's all in the same pen. And this is a glossy photograph of Florence Henderson. And before I get into the autograph here, I'll tell you a quick little story about Florence Henderson. So I don't want to get too personal, but my dad was from a city in Indiana growing up, and Florence Henderson lived in the next town over or something like that, and she was friends with some of his sisters, and she would come over to their house and play the piano and just, you know, visit and do all that kind of stuff the kids did. And so my dad knew Florence Henderson when they were kids, so that was kind of neat. And so somewhere I have a Florence Henderson autograph that he may have, I can't remember if I wrote to her, he wrote to her, what happened. He got some sort of autographed photograph. And I do happen to have Ann B. Davis, which I picked up on eBay many years ago. Some of these things gotten so expensive. But, you know, we know in the autograph community that when you sign things with somebody else's name on it, it makes it much harder to spell. So if your name is Stewart here, then that would be more appealing to somebody named Stewart. I was bidding on autographs that were signed with my name on it, and somebody had the audacity to outbid me. It's like, oh man, I already had those practically bagged and tagged and stuck in my collection, so I was very disappointed about that one. But back to the fact that it's a preprint, somebody could preprint it and put like a, but it's all in the same kind of shiny pen. So if you look at it in the light a certain way and it's got kind of a purple sheen to it, that usually means it's not a preprint. Also what happened was, as I touched the photograph in the wrong spot, just barely, and part of the inscription wiped off. So now it looks like instead of to Stewart, it looks like Yo, Stewart. So, I mean, that's crazy. You know, so it's not signed to it. Now watch this. Okay, I'm going to do a little trick here. You're not supposed to do this, but this glossy photograph here, so the ink, and I've run into silver Sharpies and numerous other things here. So what we're going to do, I'm just taking my thumb and just wiping around here. I'm trying to stay away from the autograph here. I do not recommend doing this, but because I'd already similarly damaged it by touching it, again, you're not supposed to touch the autograph here, but for the most part there, other than a little blending there, I just about got rid of the entire inscription there. And then it just says, God bless and love, Florence Henderson. So how cool is that one there? I didn't mean to do that, but that's how a lot of autographs end up on eBay without the inscription. Because of the way the pen was and the glossy photograph is, if you just touch it wrong, bye-bye inscription. We'll just do a little bit more here. I've got a kind of a nice shirt here, and we'll just carefully do this here. Again, I don't want to touch, I really didn't mean to do that, but it was already screwed up anyway, so just a tiny little bit there, and you would never even believe that it was inscribed there. Again, you always have to be careful doing that because sometimes that'll bleed into the photograph there. But I will carefully clean that up. Again, that's not what I recommend doing. And if you decide to keep it, then it's kind of, but again, I've made the mistake and bought ones that had somebody cleaned off the inscription, and sometimes it was pretty bad. And some of them I bought thinking that you could get the inscription off, and on some baseball cards, because the inscription kind of screwed up the flow of the picture, and sometimes it's best to just leave them on there because it just looks weird when you take them off, the placement of the autograph. So you can kind of get it. If you can see where so like right here, normally if she was just doing all this right down here, and she wouldn't leave that area blank and wouldn't sign down here. So then you could pretty much guess that there was a inscription on there. So to answer your question, Byron, it was signed in real pen. Whether Florence Henderson did it or not, but it looks like her signature. I'm not an expert on Florence Henderson, but thank you very much for this one. That's very important. So very cool. So I will, in the next few days, be looking around to see what I have, and I just got a few stamps today, and I've already used them. So it's going to take me a minute or two to figure out what to send you. I'll have to kind of think about that. Might even take any longer because I was just going through some autograph binders, some old ancient stuff here, and so I got to see what I have. So hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.